everyone, so today I'm going to be showing you how you can create your own customer survey from Google Drive. So this will be completely free. So it's a great place to start, especially if you have no budget. Okay, so what you can do is you can go to Google Drive and click on New, and then it's actually called Google Forms. So you click on that, and then you're presented with this form. It's going to take you through all the little things that you can do along the top. So you can change the colours, for example, I don't know, blue. And you can also preview it as well. So as you're creating your survey, you can click on there and see what it would look like from the customer's perspective. And also you can give your survey a title. So it could be business name, whatever your business name is, customer survey 2023, for example. And you can even favourite it if you don't want to lose it in your files. So, and as you'll notice, it's appeared here, ready as the title of your customer survey. And underneath, you have the option to put a description. So here, what I would suggest is putting in kind of the text that you are going to put into your email when you're asking them to complete the survey. So this is all about encouraging the customer to fill in the questions. And also, you may want to tell them why you're asking them to do this survey and what it's going to contribute to. For example, the improvements of your business and how you can better your service for them. So it might be business description. I can put a fake description here if you'd like. Here's a quick example. Hello, it would be great to know your thoughts about whatever your business name is. We are currently reviewing our business as a whole and would love to know about anything you have experienced which we could use to improve on or show off to others. Thanks in advance for completing this 2-minute survey. And then your name and your business name. It could really be as short and sweet as that, or you could give them a big spiel of why you want them to do it. However, short and sweet will encourage them to actually do the survey. Your description's too big, people lose interest, and they might not actually complete the survey. You do also have the formatting options down here. So, for example, if you wanted to make something bold, you can. It's entirely up to you. So, as you can see below, you've got the option to add your first question. And along this side also gives you options to continue the survey. So, for example, add a question, import questions if you've already got them written up, add a title and description. So if depending on how big your survey is, you might want to split up the survey into sections which will allow you with the title and description to kind of partition it up. You can add an image, so it might be your logo, for example. A video could be you requesting them to complete this survey, which could be saying the words you've put here in the description. People do love seeing people's faces, so that's a good idea. And then you've got sections. So the sections are splitting the survey into pages. So you got page 1, it might be the general questions to kind of figure out what type of customer this is. And then page 2 might be the questions in particular of how satisfied they are. So I wanted to show you a few examples of how to add in your questions. So what I've done is I've took a few questions from the survey questions worksheet that I've provided to you. And I was going to show you how to add the different types of questions. So the first one here, how can we improve our service? So this one is simple. It's just a question that is kind of an open text. You just want comments, don't you? So here, you put in your question. Okay, so you put in your question, and you'll notice this has actually changed. It used to say multiple choice, and it's kind of looked at what the question is and predicted what type of response you're looking for. And you can click on the drop down, it gives you all these different examples of what you could put. Paragraph is correct. I wouldn't say short answer because you want to give them enough space put in their feedback. So I'd say paragraph, and then they're going to be able to answer here as much as they'd like. You can copy this question again if you want in the same style just to change the question. You can delete it if you change your mind, and then you can also change it whether it's required or not. So this basically makes the question mandatory or not. So I'll put that on, and then we've got some more options here, and to be honest, you don't need to worry about them right now, so we'll leave them for now, and we will move on to the next question. So from here, you can add another question. So what I'll do is I'll show you how to add, did we resolve your issue to your satisfaction? B. Paste. So here you'll notice that they've given us some suggestions. So you can just click on add all. So this is a yes/no question from our survey questions worksheet, which is under the yes or no heading. So yes, no, maybe. I'm not really sure on that, whether you'd feel happy if someone put maybe as your response. Personally, I would take that away because you want them to be able to actually give you an answer. Maybe doesn't really help you to go anywhere with how they felt. So, did we resolve your issue? Yes or no? Was it to your satisfaction? Yes or no? So it just makes it a bit more cutthroat of pick an answer, and then we can obviously deal with it from there. So you have to always be thinking about how you want the results to show. If you're going to get a lot of maybes, it's not going to really help you. And you can also add other, so then they can populate what they wish it would be. However, if you're going to ask a lot of people, you might get a lot of other options added, which could skew your results. So just keep that in mind. We then have the question of overall satisfaction of service. So move up the screen. I just realised you won't be able to see that. So my face. So overall satisfaction of service, very satisfied, satisfied, neutral, unsatisfied, very unsatisfied. So these are actually the answers we're looking for. This is the question. So overall satisfaction of service. We'll take that and we'll do add question. And then, so it's even given us the linear. So if we wanted it to be rated from 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, you could just add it in here, 1 to 10, and it will add in the labels for you on that screen. So that is a great way to show it. Or you could do a checkbox option where you would add in, which is what we're going to do here. And just remember to make sure that you're formatting correctly. So here I've put very satisfied. So what I mean by formatting is make sure you've got your capital letters. Make sure your spellings are correct. So it would look professional. Satisfied. Again, capital letter. So as much as this is a little bit fiddly to do, once it's done, it's done. And you can use it again and again and again. Neutral. Unsatisfied. And then the other one was very unsatisfied, wasn't it? There you go. So obviously this is just a few examples of questions that you might want to populate. And as I mentioned earlier, it might be worth you having your first page where it's kind of like asking age ranges of people, maybe, whether the gender. So you can kind of pinpoint down to who is being upset. It depends on your business and it depends on who your market is, because there's a lot of businesses out there nowadays that will go for a specific niche, and it might be, for example, a business coach that's only helping female businesses that are run. So they're going to know that they're talking to females, so they don't need to ask what the gender is. So obviously think specifically to your business so you can look at your results and actually make sense of your results. So in this instance, I'm obviously only showing questions that are more specific to how satisfied you are to the business, not specifically to the audience. So if you want to figure that out, you need to be asking those questions, but I would just separate it from pages, which is from this button here with adding sections. So for example, if I wanted to add a title in, and you can move things up and down as well by just picking it up and grabbing it. So you could put in title 1, obviously just to show you as an example. And you could also add in a section. So this section, move that there. And you do the section. It also provides you with the opportunity to put a title in. So you just put section 2, for example. And then when we view this here, all the pop-ups, this is how it would show to your customer. So remember that you need to make this so it matches your branding, so people recognize who you are. So they would be presented with this, and you want to entice them to actually complete the survey as well, don't you? So they'll see the title here, they'll see your description of what you're doing and why, and then they've got the title 1. It could be called the about page when you're trying to figure out who you're talking to. And then you've got your first, how can we improve our service? So we get better at responding, for example. And then you go next. They would then see page 2, because this is section 2, as I've shown you there, which obviously you can give it a better title than that, and then it's showing you the other questions that we'd written down, which was underneath, but it's actually showing it as a separate page. So, did we resolve your issue? Yes. Overall satisfaction of the service, I would need capitals here. Say satisfied, and then they can submit. And then they would get a little response here. Your response has been recorded. So if you go back, and you'll see now that we've got one response. And you can scroll down, and it's actually put for you for free the results within a little pie chart here, the results in a little bar chart here. So as much as it's free, it still actually has quite a lot of features for you to play with. So make sure your questions are right, and it'll show you the graphs ready. You click on question, you can actually pick a certain question, then go into that question in more detail. And then you can go in as individuals and look at each individual response. And you'll notice here, it says link to sheets. And what that means is do you want all of these responses and results, or whatever you want to call them, into basically a spreadsheet? And the answer is going to be yes. So we'll click on this, create a spreadsheet, and then you can name it however you'd like. Do create, and it should automatically open. And then you'll see my responses of what I gave So obviously, you need if you're going to be testing your own survey out, if you're going to be testing your own survey out, make sure you remove this from your results before you actually go live, just so it doesn't skew your results. But then you can see here, and then obviously because you're in a spreadsheet, you'll be able to grab all of these responses and turn them into the graphs that you actually want to use. So that's fantastic. And then you've got a couple of settings. So you can make this a quiz. You can change the way that the responses are. So you can say collect email addresses, do not collect. In this instance, it depends on whether you want to reach out to the customers individually after they've responded. Personally, I would, because if you gain a response to your survey that was extremely negative, you may want to pick that up with the customer and see how you can better the situation. And if you've obviously got no contact details because you don't know who it is, you're going to struggle to do that. So you've then got the presentation. Do you want it to show a progress bar, which is pretty cool? Do you want to shuffle the questions? Personally, I wouldn't do that because you're going to design it so it actually flows. And then you've got a couple of confirmation message. This is great to change because actually you want it to sound personal from you, not from Google. So make sure you change this to something that's like, thank you from the whatever team, which would be your business name. We will take in all of the results and then get back to you as soon as we've made some decisions or whatever it might be. So it's a great way to say thank you, really. Okay, so this next one is all about sharing your results with actually the people that fill it in. This it depends whether you want to share your results with your customers. For the first time round, I probably wouldn't do that because you may have a lot of negative coming in because it's the first time you're reviewing your business. However, in the long term, you may actually want to share how you've improved from the beginning to where you are at the in a year's time. So that could be a good way to show them how. And then these are just the defaults for all the different questions, which you don't need to be messing with, really. So obviously you're at the point now where you've designed your customer survey and you actually want to send it to people and actually want to get some results, which is super exciting. And this big purple button over here is how you're going to do it. And you click on send, and don't worry, it's not going to send straight away because we don't know who it's going to. You're going to decide whether you want to collect emails or not. And then below here is how you're going to send it. So do you want to add in all the email addresses here and then the subject to your email and then the message in your email? Well, this would mean that the survey would be sent from your Gmail account, which isn't the most professional way to do it. If you're going to send this, what I would do is I would use an email, if you have one, with your domain name in your, so it would be, for example, for me, it could be Lisa Baker at customercarechannel.com as my email address. But if you don't have one, it's okay. You could use Gmail. If you do, you click on this second link here, and here's the link that you're going to add into your email that you send. Obviously, this is very long, so I would suggest that you add it as a hyperlink for a word, or you can do the shorten URL option and use that. I would actually still put it under a hyperlink, which basically says, click here to complete the survey, and then when they click it clicks to this link. So you just copy it, and then you take it away to wherever you need to put it. Not really sure what this last one is. Oh, right, okay, so you can also embed it into your website using HTML, which is pretty cool. So if you've got a WordPress website, for example, you can do it with plenty of other websites, but I specifically know how to do it with WordPress. You just add a widget custom HTML and then add this in, and it would add it to your website if you wanted to add it as a website page, for example. So that's super cool. And that's it for this section. So have a good play around with your survey, test it out with people, make sure there's no errors, make sure that the survey is actually receiving the results that they're giving before you send it out to your customers, and then you're ready.